Hey, it's Chris Cooper here, and we're taking the mystery out of growing your gym. This is something that I've been working on for the last 6 months, but really it's been a journey of over a decade to simplify gym ownership into a checklist this simple. And today I'm going to share with you what exactly you have to do to grow your gym. I'm going to give you this checklist tool so that you can just check things off, find out where you're doing well already and what you need to build. And then from there, I'm even going to make an offer to take you through this in a live training on April 29th. Now, business ownership usually seems really, really complicated. I have to do all these things, and gym owners tend to get overwhelmed by all the things they want to do. And sometimes we get discouraged because it's just not what we signed up for. But breaking things down into a manageable checklist means that we can pick the problem apart, we can make it achievable, and you can walk through this thing. So even though this checklist might seem long, the reality here is I'm giving you the exact steps to grow your business. I'm going to walk you through it briefly now, but if you want to do this with me, ask questions, go through a live training, we're going to do that April 29th at 12 noon Eastern time at gymownersunited.com. That's our free public Facebook group for gym owners where we are just there to serve and help you grow for free. So I'm going to walk you through this checklist right now briefly, but on April 29th at noon Eastern, we're going to go step by step through everything. I'll answer your questions. Coop, what do you mean? Before I get into this, I want you to know exactly where we get these numbers. Every year for the last 5 years, Two Brain Business has conducted a massive data collection, and we work with different partners like software companies to get their data from thousands and thousands of gyms around the world. It's the biggest data set in the world. And from that, we're able to say, how many leads do you need to get? What does the average gym owner make? How much revenue does the average gym owner make? How are these types of gyms doing compared to these types of gyms? You can't find this literally anywhere else in the world. One value of that data set and doing all that work is that it allows us to build a checklist just like this. What do you need to do? And one of the biggest values of a checklist like this is it also tells you what you can stop doing, what you can stop wasting time on. So let's briefly go through it. You can get this checklist, by the way, for me for free from gymownersunited.com starting April 29th. So just log in there. All right, let's see what's in the guide here. Remember that when you open a gym, you are no longer just a coach. Being a coach is an amazing job, but when you open a gym, you become the CEO of that gym, and your primary responsibility is to grow that gym now. You don't grow that gym by teaching better classes. You don't grow that gym by getting more certifications in CrossFit or jiu-jitsu or whatever. You grow that gym by becoming a better CEO. And so that's what this checklist is going to do. This is going to give you the master checklist of what you've got to do to grow this gym. We've broken it into 6 sections: how to get more clients, how to increase the value of each client, ARM, how to keep your clients long enough to change their lives, that's LEG, how to make sure that you're focusing your time on CEO activities instead of, emptying the garbage and washing the dishes, what you should be doing for your staff, and what you should be tracking for finance. Because let's face it, a lot of us, when we open a gym, are first-time entrepreneurs, and we don't know anything about finance. We don't know what a P&L is. We don't know how to read a balance sheet or an income statement, none of that. And so we just get scared and we keep putting it off, and we tell ourselves, if I'm just a better coach and I coach better classes, that's going to save my gym. That's not true. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can actually start growing your gym, because nobody else is coming to do it for you. All right, let's get into this here. So the first checklist I've got here is getting more clients. I want to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to get more clients. And if you answer no to any of these things, well, that's what you need to start doing. So for example, I've got the evaluation up here first. Do you measure your set rate? If you don't, you need to learn how to measure your set rate and start doing that. I measure my show rate. Okay. And once you can say, yes, I measure those things, then you can look at this chart and say, okay, well, my set rate is 62% or better. Now, if you're not measuring your set rate, that's where you need to start. Don't get overwhelmed and say, I don't even know what that is. Your first job as CEO and responsibility is to find out what that is. Now, of course, we teach this in our mentorship program. We publish free content on this stuff every single day, and we have for over a decade. You'll get access to resources like this in gymownersunited.com. And you can ask me this question specifically if you want to on April 29th at noon Eastern in our free training. The best path, of course, is mentorship to learn this stuff. Think of mentorship as an investment that most people would have made before they open a business, but you and I were just too passionate about fitness and we jumped right in. So here's the checklist to get more clients. Now, we're going to go through this briefly, but we'll go through it more in depth at our free training April 29th. So using a spreadsheet, how many clients do you want to get? If the answer is just more, then that's never going to be an achievable target. We figure out this target by calculating the revenue that you need to pay your expenses and make an income and pay your coaches. And then we set a target for your clients. If you haven't done that yet, that's really the first step. Then you want to measure how you're doing. So you figure out, like, where's my funnel leaking? So you say, I measure how many leads I get. I have a referral funnel. I have a content funnel, etc. And you just go through this list. It'll take you probably 5 minutes. I bet that you can answer these questions just right off the top of your head. No measurement required. And then all the ones that you say no to are things that you need to build if you want to have like a really good functioning gym. Now, it might seem like we're making the business of owning a gym complicated, but we're actually making it a lot simpler. You know, people out there will tell you it's not complicated. Just get more clients. The more clients you get in the door, the better the gym you have. But if you've been in business for more than 10 minutes, you know that's a lie. And they're trying to sell you an easy answer, right? Just like people are trying to sell our clients an easy answer like Ozempic. Business coaches and marketing agencies that tell you that growing a business is simple is trying to sell you a magic pill. So here's the checklist. Again, you know, this is just to give yourself an honest assessment of where you're starting from. Think of it as a functional movement screen for business. And, you know, you want to see the yeses and the nos, because then you got rid of all the maybes and you've got clarity. And, you know, even if you've got a lot of work to do, you know what that work is and you can just do it, because I know you're a hard worker. Then, okay, so here's the Get More Clients checklist. You go through it. If you've got a green, a yes in every category, congratulate yourself. That's a win. If you've got some no's, hey, you know, get to work building those things. And if you want some free resources, gymownersunited.com has lots. If you want coaching, well, that's what Two Brain Business is really here for. Okay. The next checklist we're going to walk through is ARM. You know, do you actually track it? And is your ARM red, yellow, or green? Then from there, you can say, hey, I can pay my bills with 50 clients. And we go through this ARM checklist. Okay. Now, the Get More Clients one is the longest one because that's where we get the most questions. But the reality here is that you need to go through each of these checklists. Then we're going to walk through retention. Retention is important because if you're not keeping people for 2 years, you're probably not changing their lives. And so we want to make sure that you're doing that. Most gyms will over-report retention. They say they're doing better than they actually are. So this is your chance to say, how am I actually doing? Okay. So we're going to also track lifetime value of a client. Then we're going to go through a checklist for retention. Retention is one of these fuzzy topics that everybody knows they should care about, but nobody actually breaks down into what works. And they give recommendations about, oh, you need a badging system. You don't. You just need to do these things. And if you can check yes on these, I know you're going to have amazing retention that's more than 2 years. All right. By the way, if you think that your retention is already more than 2 years and you're running a group coaching gym, I'm asking you, dive in and check it for sure. This is one that you really can't afford to get wrong. Effective hourly rate. The reason we're tracking this is we want to see, are you doing CEO work, or are you mostly just being a coach, or are you an underpaid coach, or are you being paid as a janitor to do a CEO's job? Okay. We're going to walk through this checklist too. Staffing. We want to know, like, have you set yourself up with success? Hey, if you hire people and in 2 years, 3 years, they're gone, it's because you haven't checked the things off on the staffing checklist. It's not enough to have staff. You have to keep your staff. You have to motivate your staff. You have to get your staff to do things that you want done in the way that you want them done. That's what leadership is. And that's why this checklist is here. We're going to check these things off. It could be that out of the 12 things on the staff checklist, you can say yes to 11 of them. Wonderful. Your priority is now obvious and you can get to work on improving your business. But one thing sometimes can be enough to kill the whole deal. Finance, hey, look, this is the scary one for most people, but let's face it, nothing gets fixed by avoiding it. Just like your clients don't lose weight by pushing off their gym membership for 2 more months, you are not going to fix your profitability by avoiding looking at your financial statements. So you just want to know, honestly, do you know what a P&L is? Do you know how to read a P&L? Do you know how to make decisions with it? If you don't, that's your priority, and you can go get coaching, or you can ask your bookkeeper, how do I read this? And eventually you'll take control of your business. Okay. There's the finance checklist. We break this down by revenue and expenses too, because you're probably likely to be good at some of this stuff and not others. The reality is that you're probably really, really good at coaching, but most of us are first-time business owners when we open a gym, and that means we're not good at owning a gym. We're an 8 out of 10 as a coach, and we're a 0 as a business owner. That's okay. What's not okay is lying to yourself, saying, I'll give it 3 years, or I'll figure it out as I go, or I'll build my wings on the way down. That is just a path to destruction. And the faster you figure this out, the sooner your gym will grow, your life will improve, and you'll be a real entrepreneur. The longer you wait to figure this out, the more expensive it gets to fix mistakes, and the more likely you are to burn out, crash, run out of money, and close your gym. Let's start by going through the checklist. Let's see what you need. So on April 29th at noon Eastern, gymownersunited.com, I'll be there live to walk you through this and answer questions. Let's get your gym growing.